This is 5 on your side at 10. Focused on you.
Tonight, United Auto Workers standing on the picket lines at 3 major plants all across the country. One of them, the GM plant in Wentzville. Thank you for joining us at 10 tonight. I'm Brent Solomon, and Allred has the night off. Tonight, U.S. Senate candidate Lucas Kunz is standing in solidarity with auto workers after failed attempts to reach a contract deal. Following your side's Diamond Palmer joins us live in Wentzville as the strikers continue to gain support. Fill us in, Diamond.
Well, Brett, the GM plant here in Wentzville, a Ford plant in Wayne, Michigan, and a Stellantis plant in Toledo, Ohio are all striking, which makes them battlegrounds for change. And as you said, the mayor of Wentzville and Senate candidate Lucas Kunz came to show their support, standing side by side with these strikers, even bringing them pizza this evening. And these strikers just want their demands to be heard. United Auto Workers say they're holding the line for their livelihoods.
So basically, they're 4-hour shifts, and we're here 24/7. So if we're here, you might have someone out here at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Ron Lane has worked at the GM plant in Wentzville for nearly a decade. This is his second time striking in his career. He says the demands are simple.
We want to end tiers, and tiers are the breakdown of us by division, by pay scale. And we're fighting for higher wages, higher starting pay.
Lane says what's also on the table are pension and retirement plans after they were removed from employee benefits years ago. He says it's all an effort to improve people's lives. Friday evening marked 24 hours since UAW workers have been on the strike. Politicians, including Lucas Kunz and the mayor of Wentzville, showed their support, but worry about the long-term effects it will have on the economy.
You know, I'm praying that this doesn't last long. I mean, it's going to hurt the industry. It's going to hurt our community through the region and state, countrywide.
It's all about solidarity and protecting the middle class. You know, what they're asking for is just to catch back up on really the sacrifices they made to keep these companies afloat.
According to strikers, nearly 4,000 people work at the GM plant in Wentzville. Lane says they're ready to stay on the picket line for as long as they have to.
But we're fighting for more than just ourselves. We're fighting for the entire UAW.
Now, strikers I spoke to off camera say that these first few days of the strike are crucial. That's when many of them will go to the local UAW 2250 hall and register for their strike pay. Many of them say that this strike pay is maybe 30 to 40% of their regular pay. Reporting live in Wentzville, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
All right, Diamond, thanks for that update. Time is money, and the longer the strike goes on, the more it can affect local automaker businesses and your wallet. Experts say strikes like this one disrupt the supply chain, meaning local auto shops will have to wait longer to receive car parts and new cars. One UMSL professor says the impact may not be seen right away, but could drastically change over time.
I do not see it having very significant effects for the next week or thereabouts, but if this extends or expands, it can have absolutely devastating effects on many people. The automotive industry is one of our key industries here in the United States.
5 on your side reached out to a couple of St. Louis car dealerships. Bommarito says it planned for this and built up a supply of GM vehicles and parts to make sure their customers are taken care of. Well, another strike is looming for our area this month. Today, nurses at SLU University gave notice that they will be going on strike for 24 hours starting Monday, September 25th. They have concerns about short staffing at the hospital, patient care, and even workplace violence. Nurses say the hospital failed to address their concerns. Negotiations have taken place since May, but they say still no progress. The hospital released a statement that reads in part, "We're disappointed. The National Nurses Organizing Committee has chosen to pull nurses away from patient care to participate in a strike rather than continue our discussions at the bargaining table." Tonight, police are working to identify 3 people killed in a head-on crash early this morning in Madison County. It happened on Illinois Route 4 at U.S. Route 40. Police say a car crossed the center line, crashing into another car. 2 drivers and a passenger died. Students at Sumner High School are mourning the loss of their classmate after a deadly shooting Wednesday night in North City. Someone shot and killed 16-year-old Antonio Thompson on Minerva Avenue in the city's Hamilton Heights neighborhood. Police have not released any information about suspects or even a motive. St. Louis Public Schools said this in a statement, quote, "Our hearts go out to his friends, family, and classmates." St. Louis Public Schools has counselors and other mental health professionals on site to help in any way they can. We first told you about construction delays on the Frank Scott Parkway. It has led to travel headaches due to missing supplies and even safety concerns. 2 months later, we went back to the scene to see if things have gotten any better. Here's our senior investigative reporter, Paula Vassan.
It's an inconvenience, definitely.
The I-Team has been talking with frustrated drivers for months about this stretch of road, the Frank Scott Parkway in St. Clair County, Illinois. A 2-mile stretch that about 16,000 drivers use daily is being widened from 2 lanes to 5. In July, drivers said the project lasted more than a year, but they rarely saw crews working.
It's just all blocked off. We really just want to get it open. We're just ready to move past it.
Why can't we get through?
We had those questions too, so we went to the county's engineer. He told us a 1,400-foot section of road was missing reinforcements to make the pavement stronger. So the contractor had to remove and replace the pavement. We went back to the people in charge.
What do you want to tell our viewers?
Just be patient. We appreciate your patience so far.
Norm Etling is the county's engineer.
The striping is proceeding. We started striping during the day, and we received several concerns about striping during the day was causing some confusion. So this evening, we're going to try to do some striping at night. After that, we've got some reflectors to put down and some signage, and we're very, very close.
He also tells us the contractor is months ahead of schedule, which means not as much urgency to get the job done right now.
But I get it, there's nobody out there every day. But we're so far ahead of schedule, it's really hard to push.
For drivers, their patience is being tested.
If that's the case, I just wonder why they don't, be more proactive with getting it finished quicker.
The county engineer tells us he's hopeful the project will be finished by the end of the month. For the I-Team, Paula Vassan, 5 on your side.
All right, thanks, Paula. Now, if you have a tip for her or the 5 on your side I-Team, you can leave a voice message on 314-444-5231 or even email paula@tips@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential. Still ahead, it's the start of a special celebration for the Jewish community. A look at the meaning behind Rosh Hashanah. Well, today marks 60 years since 4 young girls died in a bombing at the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. Their names were 11-year-old Denise McNair and 14-year-old Cynthia Wesley, Carol Robertson, and Addie Mae Collins. The girls were getting ready for a youth worship service when that bomb went off. Today, the church commemorated the day with a special service. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson had a strong message.
I know that atrocities like the one we are memorializing today are difficult to remember and relive. But I also know that it is dangerous to forget them.
One of the Ku Klux Klan members was convicted in 1977, 2 others in the early 2000s. The 4th person responsible died and was never charged. The 5 former Memphis police officers charged with killing Tyree Nichols appeared in court today to learn if they will have a joint trial or separate ones. Prosecutors argue that the former officers should be tried together since they all face the same federal and state charges. Nichols died after being brutally beaten during a traffic stop just yards away from his home. The 5 men will be back in court on Thursday. Tonight, the Jewish community is celebrating Rosh Hashanah, also known as the Jewish New Year. People gathered for a service here at Central Reform Congregation in St. Louis tonight. During services, a hollowed-out ram's horn, also known as a shofar, is blown. Families also gathered for a holiday meal, and they eat apples dipped in honey. That symbolizes the sweet hopes for the new year. The holiday marks the beginning of a 10-day period of repentance and reflection. It all ends with Yom Kippur, also known as the Day of Atonement. That's the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. All right, time now for your weather first forecast. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joining us with that. Hey there, Scott.
Well, you know, Brent, we're talking about quiet weather this afternoon into this evening, and it was perfect for the balloon glow over in Forest Park. They got all the balloons out there on the field, started flaring things up, and then as the sun set, we started adding that extra color to it, and really a great evening in Forest Park with literally thousands of folks joining in the fun and the festivities there this evening. And what a perfect day it ended up being. 83 for the high after a really comfortable start this morning at 53. Dry weather across the bi-state area, a very dry air in place. So many of our outlying areas already down into the mid-50s. Chesterfield Valley's 54, Sullivan's 55 right now. Alton at Bethalto, at the airport there in Bethalto, at 57 degrees, 55 in Mount Vernon. This dry weather has been good this week for doing another hay cutting. And this is the scene from Lois. She shared that with us on our Weather Watchers Facebook group page. Also a nice evening over in Belleville. They're kind of wrapping up the festivities for tonight's Oktoberfest, but they'll be back out there again tomorrow. 66 at Lambert, so you've got a 10 to 15 degree range in temperatures across the area. Most of our outlying areas that are in the low to mid 50s, you're going to plateau here pretty soon as the clouds start to roll in from the west, but we'll stay dry tonight. Hurricane Lee, it's moving now towards the Canadian Maritimes. The outer bands already producing some rain out on Cape Cod. The worst of the wind stays offshore of the U.S., but they'll still have some impacts. Meanwhile, to our north and west, we've seen some showers. What's out in Kansas as it's drifting on towards the east will tend to weaken, but we'll definitely see that cloud cover around here by tomorrow morning. So tomorrow's not nearly as bright as today was. Our better chance for a scattered shower, mainly tomorrow afternoon, but it's really during the evening hours, especially north and west, when you get the best chance of seeing a scattered shower. Then all of that slides off to the east, and that'll leave us with a nice Sunday. Heading to Mizzou, Columbia is going to be busy here, and it's an 11 a.m. kickoff. Might need the rain gear for a little bit. Some rain showers certainly possible with K-State in town. As you go up to Champaign, we have Penn State and the Illini. Temperatures there around 70 at kickoff. A little less chance for rain there. Most of us are not going to see much rain tomorrow into tomorrow night, but there's at least that chance. Then it should be dry as we head through the end of the weekend into the middle of next week. By the time we get to next weekend and Yom Kippur begins at sundown next Sunday, we'll have some showers in the area, Brent.
All right, we'll keep it in mind. Thanks, Scott. That's all of our time for 5 on your side at 10, but don't worry, Corey Miller joins us now with 5 on your sideline.